What up, girl?
Fancy seeing you here, Brooke.
Oh, all the gin joints.
It's almost like we planned it.
But we didn't. Hello and welcome to Cover Deal.
Surprise twist, we've been doing this spontaneously for the last 118 weeks.
My small rebellion is drinking Kettle One out of a Grey Goose cup because that's how we party.
You know what, Brooke? Be bad. Why not? Be bad. I'm drinking not scotch for once, not bourbon for once. I'm drinking black strap molasses rum and lots of bitters.
Wow.
Lots of bitters.
In a cup.
It is. Do you want to know what kind of bitters I have in this?
Yeah. Black walnut. Is it black walnut?
That's one of them. We've got black walnut, molasses, cardamom, and chocolate.
Oh my God. Cardamom bitters?
Mm-hmm. You just squeeze those little pods right in there.
Delicious.
Cardamom, it's not just for curry anymore.
Cardamom. It's not just for Middle Eastern desserts your mom won't eat.
It sounds like there's a story behind that.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Anyways, girl.
Oh. So
How are you? Are you weary?
You know what? I was just about to ask you the same thing. And you know what? This sweater tells you everything you need to know. A dramatic don't touch me silhouette. And lots of complicated texture.
I'm like dark permit tonight. I'm done. I'm like, yeah, this is good for this.
You really are in your villain era. I love this. Yeah, Dark Knight Returns.
Yes. I thought for saying no, like I would start the theme of saying no in my wardrobe, which is like I'm saying no to doing anything beyond the bare minimum tonight.
Yeah, and you know what? You're welcome, audience, because this is a gift we do, frankly, for each other. This, first and foremost, Cover Dish is something we do for each other. Wouldn't you say?
We're thrilled you're here, but it would have been went through without you.
Yeah. I mean, we're glad you're here, and also just this emoji.
Also, we respect when you have to leave.
Yeah.
Girl, I love this. I love this game.
Can I tell you about this sweater briefly?
I would love that. I would love actually nothing more.
So I love that there's a cameo on it and lots of like Victorian. It looks like Victorian wallpaper. That's what I love about it. And I found it when I was in Atlanta for a friend's wedding, and I was driving down like through one of the cool areas, and I saw a pair of like plexiglass legs sticking out of a building, like with fishnets on. And when you see a pair of fishnet covered plexiglass legs sticking out of a building, you say stop the car.
Yeah, surely.
Yeah, so we stopped the car, and I went in, and Monty put up with me while I went in, and it was called Psycho Sisters, and it was a store full of like picture Costume Holiday House, Spirit Halloween, Hot Topic, and the most quirky vintage store you could imagine, all rolled up into one. And I found this sweater, and it was amazing. And they were just like the coolest people like making a TikTok when I walked in, and they were like, "Do you need anything?" And I was like, "I'm good." I got like
I'm not interrupting this.
I was like, "Don't let this grandmotherly specter interrupt you from living your life, which is fully what you should be doing right now." And also, do you have any vintage sweaters?
That's amazing. That is an amazing tale of that sweater.
It was really cool. And I got a fake cigarette on the end of like a cigarette holder that I used for my vampire mommy costume for Halloween, which is in a previous episode.
Did you buy the fake cigarette and the fake cigarette holder?
Together. They were package deal. That's how you know they've thought this through. That's how you know this store is for us. Because they were like, buy a cigarette holder, get a free fake cigarette. And I was like, can I live here? Can I move in?
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Well, this sweater is a very old off-season Lululemon hoodie, but this is my first crop hoodie.
Yes, girl. Okay, dish cam. Yes. Bring the undulation.
I don't I don't know if I like
those
it's
abs.
not
I can't with you and your abs.
That is so very tiny. Anyways,
thank you for continuing to provide us with thumbnails for this show.
wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Just me going like this.
Yeah, and meanwhile I'm like, like I can't believe it. That's gonna be the thumbnail now.
So I just growing up with like a severe body dysmorphia as a kid was at like Weight Watchers at 11.
Oh, wow.
An LA Fitness at 13 on a diet plan. I like my body dysmorphia was crazy, and I remember I bought this, and I was just like, what? Like I was like, I can't wear a crop. I'm not thin. Like I'm a fat moose. Like you know what I mean? It's super unhealthy and not good. And also, like in the scheme of things, the average size of a woman in the U.S. is a size 16, and I'm under that. So it's incredibly privileged to even like have those feelings, right? And now we have a better understanding of that. But in the moment, I was just like, so this is like my first,
Yeah. Girl, let me just say, everything you said is correct, and also, we're all broken. Like, we all need therapy for different reasons. It's just different flavors of ice cream. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. I was also in Weight Watchers back in the day when, like, you couldn't eat a chicken breast, but you could eat, like, 14 Weight Watchers bars that are, like, made out of, like, plastic and cancer.
Oh my God. Do you remember the Skinny Cow?
Oh my God. Skinny Cow is still around. People eat it.
I know.
It's ice cream.
It's so much. It's so much. It's just, and by so much, I mean, like, it's so fraught and emotionally just, like...
I would eat, like, two of those, and I would, like, be so sick. Because they're not food. If you're out there eating Skinny Cows...
Girl, you are talking to someone who has replaced a meal with M&Ms at least 3 times in the last week.
In your defense, you were really craving them when you got food poisoning, and
yes.
I feel like you needed to like kind of redeem your M&M fetish.
It's how I found my way back to the world of the living.
Yeah,
was through M&Ms.
Now you have like a nostalgia. Plain?
Yeah, plain. I don't like the peanuts, and I like the peanut butter ones. Just feel too decadent. Like we couldn't possibly do that. Look at the calorie count.
So you're an M&M original.
Yeah, but it's almost like not by choice. It's like it's the middle way. Like, we're not going to have M&Ms, but we're not going to have the peanut butter M&Ms, so we're going to have the plain ones. And now you know what I talk to my therapist about.
You like accidentally eat a peanut M&M until the next thing else.
No, I have this whole setup where I line the sidewalk with banana peels and M&Ms. And I just theatrically trip and like, oh no! And then an M&M just lands in my mouth, and I'm like, it was an accident.
My stars.
Yeah.
Girl, I love that for
There's
you.
I love that.
There's a
Goldberg machine involved at every meal in order for me to eat.
I love it. That was good. That got me for real. Like I love it. I did this thing where I bought a regular bag of Justin's peanut butter cups. You know what I'm talking about? Those like dark chocolate, almond butter, like organic peanut butter cups.
Is Justin friends with Reese?
No.
Okay.
No. Justin has a handlebar mustache, is a bartender in Denver, listens to Mumford & Sons, only has suspenders. It's like organic dark chocolate with almond butter peanut butter cups. Have you heard of these?
No, and you're accepting confectionery from this man?
I am. They're so good.
Because I don't trust it. I'm looking it up right now. Justin's peanut... This is so far off topic. Justin's peanut butter cups.
It's not, because you're saying no to my decadence.
I'm saying no. I'm putting the kibosh on this candy.
I just tried to spell it.
The packaging looks very normal. Where's this handlebar mustache I was promised?
No, he's not actually there. I'm just saying he's the hipster of candies. Like the person.
Oh, okay. Girl. I'm so sorry. That went right over my head.
He's not Reese's cousin. He's like, you know what I mean? The distant relative.
Yeah.
Who might be a proud boy, but no one's in touch.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's the black sheep of the family, but only because he likes Mumford & Sons.
Yes, he's very white.
Right. Because everyone went to like an Ivy League school. And he's like, I'm edgy. Yeah.
Right. And he went to like University of Colorado, got a degree in engineering and doesn't use it. And it's like getting really into hydroponics. So anyways.
Yeah. Anyway.
What's our topic 11 minutes in?
We're talking about My favorite 2-letter word in the English language. Starts with an N and it ends with an O.
No.
Yeah. I like the word no.
I am developing an appreciation for it in my 30s.
It takes a while. It really takes a while.
Yeah, I don't think I was very good at it in my 20s.
Well, I think you and I are... How do I describe us, Brooke? You and I are two women with a thirst for life. And we are people who want to achieve and we want to challenge ourselves to be better, right? And so, like, what's the path toward doing that? Is it saying no? At first glance, you might not think so, right? So, like,
right,
when you're driven to, like, oh, I gotta make the test score. I gotta, like, you know, do all the things. You feel a lot of pressure in your childhood, teens, and 20s. Like, to me, speaking personally, I thought the answer was just to keep saying yes to things. Turns out the real tea is sit home and do nothing. Because I'm tired.
And watch the dish.
And, by the way, subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can get to 100 subscribers so I can get that custom URL on merch.
First one that subscribes tonight doesn't get my stapler, but I'll whack you in the head with it the next time I see you.
Girl, I just watched A Promising Young Woman, and when you picked up that stapler, it was like some sinister shit was about to go down.
Because it's the hood.
Yeah, it really is. I was like Brooke in the billiard room with that stapler.
Honestly, these things are so heavy. I got this from my first real job.
Oh, girl, that's an original red swing line. That's like a classic.
I know. And I was like, I have to keep it.
Yeah.
But it's like heavy.
Yeah. You ever seen Office Space, girl?
Girl, of course I have.
I feel like that movie is kind of about saying no.
I used to watch Office Space with my friend Ben, and my mom would come in and go, "Are you guys watching Office Max?"
Office Max. Are you guys watching Circuit City?
Yes, she called it Office Max or Office Depot every time.
Office Depot. Oh my god, I forgot about Office Depot. Doesn't that feel like a Mandela effect? Like, I remember Office Max, I remember TJ Maxx, I remember Home Depot. But there used to be an Office Depot.
Is there still an Office Depot?
I don't think so. I don't want to look into it. I think I'm gonna fall into the fifth dimension if I like ask too many questions. I'm gonna end up in the back rooms, and then that's not gonna end well for me.
If there's any comments, Office Depot 2.2 miles from me.
An Office Depot?
Yes.
Girl, I think the timeline split or something. I don't think that's real.
Yeah, I don't think you have them.
I'm gonna say no to that.
Yeah, say no to Office Depot.
So, girl, what's a no that feels easy and what's a no that feels really challenging?
I think, oh my God, that's really tough. Well, we were just talking about it, but I think a no that's really difficult for me still, doesn't matter how many girl boss mugs everybody gets me, is like letting go of self-criticism. That's been like hitting me really hard, but I have to check myself and I have to stop the path. Like, I have the path, I have the option, and I'm like, I gotta stop myself. I don't know. I think actually a no that's gotten easier for me, especially over time, is like drawing lines and boundaries with friends. Like, even just being like, especially when I'm traveling, like I'll be in your city, right? And I'm all over the country, and like I'm pretty open about posting about it. Like, I'm not gonna hide that I'm in a city, but I'll hear from someone. Like, let's use Los Angeles, for example. If I'm in Los Angeles for 2 nights. And if anyone is trying to get around in Los Angeles from it to like a tourist area, which is where I would be staying, it is a fucking hellscape. So you're messaging me and I'm in like Universal City and you are not. And you're like, oh my God, we should get drinks. And I'm like, okay, cool. I have 1 free hour tomorrow. And like, I was going to go to the gym in this building, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, I would try to, when I was younger, I would try to make it work. Or I'd like worse, be like, yes, and then cancel at the last minute because I didn't have capacity.
Yeah, you're like, no, that time is committed.
Right. And it's also like, actually, it's not, but like, it can't be committed to you just because the window's so small. And I think I used to try to pull that shit off. And I just don't.
Yeah. I mean, the time sort of is committed. Like, I rethink
right, to myself.
Exactly. Committed time, it changes. Like there's a nuance.
Getting to the point on the dish where I'm just like, I gotta let loaf out, but
You said no to the dish.
Again.
You said you said no to the dish, and frankly, how dare you? Thinking you can redeem yourself with that sexy washboard situation you got.
Girl, what is something that's easy for you to say no to, and what's something that's hard?
It's difficult because I'm still learning when I have a lot of energy and when I don't, and it's not always predictable. So sometimes you'll make plans and then you'll have a bad day, right? Like a bad mental health day.
Right.
And so sometimes it's easy because I'm being asked to do something well in advance, and I've looked at like what's the cost benefit analysis, and I've decided, you know what, I don't need to do that. I don't need that commitment. It's not and a lot of factors weigh into that, right? Like how much does this person need me for this thing? If someone needs me, that changes the calculus, right? The scales tilt differently. But if it's just like, hey, do you want to do a thing? And I'm like, no, I really don't want to do a thing. That feels a lot easier now. The thing that doesn't feel easy is sort of the internalized pressure to follow further with a thought that you were having about like self-criticism or self-recriminations or all that kind of thing. Like recently I've had some bad mental health days, and it's been more challenging. Like my focus is down, my motivation is down. It's difficult to do basic things like get out of bed, brush your teeth, get to work. And so like I've tried to develop some more strategies to deal with that. Like I'll give you an example from this week. I had oh my god, it's Tuesday, so this was definitely yesterday. I had a challenging day yesterday. Because I woke up and I was like, I really don't want to do this today. You know the kind of days, right? You read my blog.
Yeah.
So you get up.
Your live journal.
Yeah, you get up, the alarm goes off a couple more times than you want to admit. You throw the covers off and you think, you know what, I have to do this. So I'm on. You know when you feel like you're a spectator to your own life and you're going through the motions, you shower, you brush your teeth, you have breakfast, you get to work. And then I was like, how much more of this day am I going to be able to stand? That was the moment I was having. And seriously. And so there was one thing that helped and one thing that didn't. The thing that didn't help was a mindfulness exercise that you may have heard of. It's like, bring your attention to 3 things that you can see right now.
Yeah.
Bring your attention to 3 things you can feel right now, 3 things you can hear, 3 things you can, what's the other one? See? Touch? Yeah, all the senses, the sensory stuff.
Right.
So I went through that and then I was like, do I feel better? No. And if that one doesn't work, the second thing I did, which did help, was it's already enough, is what I like to call it. So it's like, you know what did I do up to this point in this day?
Yeah.
I got out of bed, brushed my teeth, I fed myself, got in my car and drove to work. I sent blah, blah, blah emails. I did blah, blah, blah work things.
Yeah.
I like approved an expense report, like whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
Seemingly really mundane things. And then I tell myself, that's already enough for this day.
I really like that.
And that one did actually really help. Because what I want to do is keep unicycling through this day that's full of like spike strips. You know what I mean? Like it's just terrible. And then I stop and I'm like, you could also say no to some things and everything will be fine.
Yeah. But I think, I really love that. I think one of the tough part about that is, especially with like your performing and everything else, it's like you feel like you're like, okay, we always play a balancing act. It's like, well, I'm killing it at work, but at least I'm being a good partner, or I'm being a good partner, or I'm not being a good partner, but at least burlesque is going well, or whatever. You like, right? You like measure it and quantify it. And I love just kind of like letting go of that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what your story reminded me of.
Okay.
So my friend Ben, who is a cancer survivor, he had Hodgkin's lymphoma. He had stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Wow.
There's no 5, so we all know what happens there. And he survived. I think it might have been end stage 3. Anyways, it was really tight there for a minute. Anyways, we were in college, and I was home helping him with chemo. And I would drive through the child cancer center. Okay, Have you ever hung out for like months at a child cancer ward? So
No.
he was so thin. He was in the child section, even though he was 19, because he was so small, he was getting pretty much like child chemo. So he was on that floor.
Wow.
So he'd lose a roommate like every week. They'd just die, just kids. And they'd be like 5.
Yeah.
Anyways,
yeah.
So I'd go to drive to see him and hang out for the day. And I would like get coffee, but like everything would go wrong. You know what I mean? Just all the shit. Like my bright light went on and my coffee order's wrong. And that was the summer that terrible song came out. You had a bad day. Everyone down. Latte is wrong. Or whatever. I don't fucking know.
But the latte is wrong.
Okay.
Oh.
So I would go in and I would be like, oh my God, like, I'm, frazzled. Like, I can't believe I'm doing this to you. Like, you're literally hooked up to chemo. And he's 1 week off from chemo, by the way. He had to get all 4 wisdom teeth pulled without anesthetic. Like, homie just went through it because he couldn't. Because, like,
yeah. I guess that makes sense.
So I'm like, how can I vent to you about, like, my brake light coming on and there being no parking at the child cancer ward? And Ben told me something that has stayed with me since I was 20 years old. And he's like, you cannot compare trauma. You cannot compare pain. Like, you can't do it. Like, and I think our culture is so obsessed with comparing everything. And it's like, well, you think you have it bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't take away. So someone having it worse off doesn't take away from your bad day.
Yeah. Can I tell you, so we are unintentionally getting into a very deep dish tonight. Can I share something that is like we're going a layer deeper, okay? Can I share you a layer deeper for me? Recently, as you know, I think we've talked about this before, especially with respect to trans rights and the challenges around that politically in this moment. And I've been having all of this. We don't have time. We don't have time to fully get into it. But suffice it to say, I've been freaking out recently and having thoughts like, my safety when I leave the house is in jeopardy and going to work and all these things. And I'm grappling with this in a way that feels familiar, but also feels new. And a friend of mine recently, they didn't mean to check me, but they unintentionally checked me by saying, well, yeah, I mean, in the same way that in light of the murder of George Floyd and the racial justice uprisings of 2020, a lot of people, white people, felt like the challenges and the institutional racism that's been going on a long time for black people felt new. And I think, like, in the same way, like, you might be processing, you're feeling all of these things, and you're becoming aware of all of this, this danger and this urgency that probably, like, black trans sex workers and other trans people of color have been feeling acutely for a long time. So I wonder if, like, they didn't say it like this, but I wonder if they're just like, well, yeah, this is just another day. And to you, you're like, holy shit, I'm in danger. And I was like, right. You're probably right.
Right. Yeah. No, I think it's like, what is, like, I don't know. It's like when people are, oh my God, my mom is so worried. So I was in New York and she's like, be careful, there's so much crime. And I'm like, not according to any of the news sources I watch. But okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, if you've never followed hate crimes, which hate crimes right now are up against racial minorities and the LGBTQ community. Not breaking news for some people, but just that is the science, that's the data that we're seeing. Asian Americans, Black, brown folks, Indigenous folks, all being targeted. LGBTQ folks, obviously, as well.
Yeah.
With an emphasis on the T and the Q. Mm-hmm. But I was like, this isn't new. And it feels so new. And I think we also have to remember it's all about what you measure. We weren't measuring like this. This is not, it shouldn't comfort you. And I'm not saying that to comfort you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's also a reminder, like, there's sharks in the water, always. Like, it's just that you're right. Like this, you, and then you live because, not in spite of what's happening, you live because of what's happening.
Yeah. And also, like, to give myself just a little bit of credit in this situation, I did also, like, in high school, Ohio banned gay marriage, and then we had Obama, and then we had um, the
The
20.
Porterfell?
Yeah, but what was the name of that came out of that?
Wait.
Marriage equality, but there was a name of the actual codifying of that at the federal level.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I forget. Defense of Marriage Act or Marriage Equality Act or
Marriage,
something.
yeah, Marriage Equality Act, whatever it was. DOMA was the bad one, but anyway,
Yes.
yeah. So like that trajectory, right? That does something where you're like things are getting better, and then all of a sudden things are really not getting better. So there is an aspect to this that is absolutely real for everybody, which is like things aren't getting better. Um, saying no. So
No to the news. Just
yeah,
for a couple days.
yeah.
I do think there's something important about like saying no to. I think there's a lot of pressure to be informed
Mm-hmm.
and to be like in the know.
Yes, yes.
And sometimes I say no to that. Not like for weeks, but like sometimes I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, I get to my end of my night and I put on Bob's Burgers. Like I just, you know what I mean? And I love that in my like world, so many people send me so many things and they're like, I love your thoughts on this. And I'm like, I bet you would. And I'm like, I don't have anything for you.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love that thought, which is we have to better understand what we can handle as individuals. Because I think especially in progressive movement, in social justice movements, we're like, we have to work together as a community. I need to support my community through this. I need to be an activist, and like, it's not just about me, it's about everybody going through this, right? But sometimes it's also about you and what you need and what you can handle.
100%.
So like I'm the same way with you right now. I'm like sometimes I need to say no. Like I need to not look for headlines and I need to not stay connected for a week or 2 weeks or sometimes it's not even a set period of time. It's like I'll come back when I can handle it.
And because you are like as a trans woman who is surviving and really thriving by surviving, right? I think the standard, right? Like I think you are thriving as well. Like I'm not trying to put that word on you unless you're comfortable with that, but I do think you're surviving and thriving, and I think that's
so,
rare. Yes, I do.
Oh my God, Cal is here, and I love you, Cal. Thank you so much for watching. Cal says, despite the fact that you're a responsible and respected resource, you don't owe people that labor, and you're absolutely right. Like we have a responsibility to ourselves, and that's what surviving is.
I was just gonna say you especially, Eileen, right? Because it's like. Look, Cal, we chat about this. Like, you know, there's like a ton of queer folks in Ohio. I love Ohio for it. Like, I love this like queer mecca we have in Columbus. But like an openly trans professional is less common. So you're looked to and you are reached to. And it's like, well, I have a trans resource. They can be on a panel and they can do this. And it's like, you know, it's a capacity issue. And it's also like, hey, if you don't do it, is someone else going to be able to have the capacity to do it? And then you do it because you're like, well, I'm a trans person, and I have this bucket of privileges that helps me get through the day. And I do have the privilege of taking PTO so I can speak on this panel.
Yeah.
Or I am safe driving to the panel and I don't have to worry about an interaction with the police that could harm me or whatever the thing is. And then you're driven by this almost guilt of being like an ultra minority in the space.
Yeah. Girl,
how do we get here?
I don't know, but Cal. now
brings the energy.
Now I just want to get drinks with you and like dig into this more because I feel like what this started out as an entertaining half-hour program where we talk about, oh my God, saying no. How do you write the greeting card, you know? And it turned into like deep introspective. This was therapy. Thank you all for joining us on our therapy tonight.
Yo, that was the working title.
We aren't credentialed, but we are available. So if you would like to actually know, you know what? I'm saying
we're
no.
Not available.
We're not available.
No, we did that really cute thing for that organization where we made like cocktails and mocktails on Zoom.
No, Zeta Bites. Yeah.
Yeah. That was really fun. Anyways,
I know someone who knows Lisa who said hi and also reaffirmed that was a really fun event and we should do more things like that.
I will close this out with my favorite no, which is my sister has an in-law
what is happening?
who had like a retirement gig. There's like 5 more in here. Anyways,
I'm putting
had a
you on the dish cam
retirement
for
gig of
this.
getting cards out from Papyrus. And I have like half a dozen Easter cards. And these are from like 2008.
Oh, cute.
And they say, wishing you happy little surprises. And let me tell you something, girl. I don't celebrate Easter. So now I just have a million of these cards. So I am saying no to sending these cards out that have been in my possession for 7 years. But I am also saying no to throwing them out. And I need your help.
Okay.
Please throw these out.
Girl, first of all, let me say, you are on the dish cam for this, because this moment is all you. First of all, I would invite you to thank yourself for holding onto these cards for so long, but also forgive yourself for throwing them away and then doing it. You don't need to hold on to those. It's okay. Oh, they're gone. They're gone, ladies and gentlemen. It's as easy as that.
So many. I also have very weird parts about grieving and losing an animal.
We like to model good behavior on this show, and the good behavior you can do for yourself is purging things from your life that do not spark joy and do not serve you.
Do 10-year-old Easter cards bring you joy?
They do. They do. I'm going to come out to you and everyone. I'm going to say that 10-year-old cards do bring me joy. They do spark joy.
Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Fuck it, girl. I'm going to find all of them, and I'm going to send them to you periodically.
Not all at once. You know what I love? I love pastels. I love candy. I love rabbits. I don't love what Easter represents, but I love the aesthetics of it. So please send me those cards.
Okay, I will send you those cards. And if you want that card, feel free to send an address to our Instagram handle @CoveredDish and follow us here every Tuesday. We apparently keep things really light at Covered Dish.
I'll tell you this. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, screenshot it, and send it to me, I will send you something. I won't tell you what it is. I won't commit to what it is, but I will send you something. And you have to have not already been a subscriber. You have to be a new subscribe. But
wow, so you're adding rules.
Yeah, girl, I can draw boundaries. It's been known to happen.
I'm very proud of you, girl.
Thank you. I'm proud of you too.
These are kind of cute, but they have an arrow on them, and I'm not sure if that's like anti-Native American. I gotta look into this. Anyways,
what is happening? What? Did you just bring the whole stationery bin onto the show with you?
Absolutely. I have so many cards.
Oh my god.
This one's great. This is a good closing.
Cal, I would drop it in the chat, but it's really hard to do that while I'm also running the stream. So I will just tell you that it is go to youtube.com and go to search for Covered Dish, and you will find us.
You did it.
That's
I have
cute.
no idea what these are.
Are those boulders?
Yeah, they're boulders with a little crab on it, and it says you did it.
You did it. You should
They're like congratulations cards, but I also send them to people like after surgery.
You did it. You survived surgery.
It's not great. Anyways,
that's great.
I'm a white lady with a lot of cards. You have all been absolutely delightful, I think, and we're very grateful for your partnership. And I appreciate it. Eileen, take us home.
All I'm going to say is, Adrienne Marie Brown taught us to seek out the orgasmic yes. And I'm going to expand on that and tell you that I fully support you seeking out the orgasmic no. And on that note, we'll see you next Tuesday. Love you so much. See you for the next Covered Dish. Bye.